Hi everyone, this is EstaRa with a message for you today. I wanted to just quickly come in with something, and I'm going to try and come back before the weekend, but I can't guarantee it. So if I don't, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to all of you. It is Tuesday, November 21st, 2017. I wanted to give you a quick update because I have a lot of things happening in my world, but that's actually not the update I want to give you. A lot of things have been happening in my world, but a lot's been happening with all of you, with all the twins and what's going on. So what is happening right now? Be prepared for all kinds of stuff to surface. And I think I've said this before, I'm not positive, but what's really important for you to recognize and realize is that what is coming up now is not something that you have to do massive work to release and get rid of. But what you do need to do is you actually need to look at what is surfacing and recognize from an observer role, is this something I already dealt with? If it is, then recognize that it's just something that's getting released and going. And when I say dealt with, I mean truly got into the nitty gritty, you know, put the gloves on, the big muddy boots, because you have to get deep, dig deep into the emotions. If you haven't done that, that means something you do need to work on. And now is the time to do it. We are really getting ready to close this year out, and honestly, what that means on an energetic level is we're closing up a whole bunch of stuff that we got kicked up at the beginning of this year. This has been a tough year for so many people, 2017. So use this time wisely. There's like so many opportunities to really catapult yourself forward. So I've been in this like crazy place of like totally okay, between totally okay and nervous breakdown. And I say that because I've had a lot of physical things going on, as you all know, because I've been sharing that with videos. And so it's pretty major. I have some real serious decisions to make about what I'm doing going forward and how I'm going to handle that. And it kicked up my fears of being alone, my fears of my twin isn't here yet. It kicked up fears of my twin is never going to come. It kicked up my fears of abandonment, survival. So all that stuff is like gotten kicked up for me. But the reason I say from totally okay to nervous breakdown is depending on where I was at in that day emotionally and dealing with my stuff is it came at me. I had to face it and deal with it. But then underneath it, I had this like, it's going to be okay. I know it will be. It always has been. The universe has always provided. I've always been safe. So somehow, some way, it's going to work out. I just don't know exactly how. I don't know what that looks like. And I'm not going to try to fix it. I'm going to let the universe show me what I need to do. My spirit's going to guide me through this and navigate it. But going through all that emotion really was strong last week. And I know I'm not the only one. So many people I spoke to last week were going through that as well. So that's why you didn't get a video last week during the week. It was chaos in my world. And it was actually totally okay that it was chaos because I needed that feeling. I needed to go through that emotion. And there's a purging that's coming out of it, which is something I've been doing for months now, like clearing my house out and cleaning it out. And I'm trying to get rid of everything. I'm trying to sell stuff that I own that I don't need anymore, that I'm not utilizing, that's not of service to me. I'm also giving it away, so I'm really cleaning house. So if you're local to the Connecticut area and you want to look at some spiritual books, I have tons. Please come check them out. And if you're interested, you can pick some up for donation. But all of that being said, we're all in that place. So everything's been kicked up because everyone's like kind of in a crisis right now. And it's because their inner child is like, no, look at me, look at me, look at me. And so that whole possibility of healing is like at the top level, the parts that you never looked at before, the parts that you didn't want to look at, parts you didn't want to go to. So we're really at that space. So while we're consciously aware at the space, so for me, the Divine Feminine in my twin flame partnership, I'm consciously at this space. And so that's overwhelming to say the least, right? Because I'm aware of what's happening to me. But when it comes to my twin, it's happening to him as well, but he's not consciously aware of what's happening in the bigger picture and not understanding all of it. And here's the thing, he hasn't done a lot of the emotional work. So it's literally affecting him every step of this way. And so for me, it's overwhelming. can't even imagine truly what he's going through. And part of it is there's this little part of me that's like, well, I don't really care what he's going through. I'm so tired of him going through the same stuff when I've been working my butt off to make this union happen, but also to make our lives on this planet better, to heal all of humanity and do the job that we came to do. I've been holding my end of the bargain. So screw you. I don't want to know what you're going through. I have my own stuff I'm dealing with right now. I was there this past weekend, and that's not my reality today. So I did a lot of healing the last couple of days on my thought process and what was going on inside of me, like really learning to, and I want to say learning because I actually learned this. I know how to navigate my emotions. So really allowing myself to feel and allowing myself to just move through the emotions and let myself feel that. Like, I'm really angry with you and frustrated because you're not here. But then I moved into I forgive you, because the truth is, I understand what he's going through. I get it. I get it more probably than most people do because I am intuitive and I can see the bigger picture and I can understand it on a different level. But it still hurts. I'm still human. I'm still dealing with my stuff, and I have to feel my stuff. And one of the things in our society that we've been taught is not to feel. Like, we're not allowed to feel our feelings, because if we feel our feelings, then that can't possibly mean that we have divine unconditional love for our twin flame. That is so not freaking true, and it drives me mad because I've heard so many people from one end to the other. Like, one, they're screaming at their twin, being really angry and nasty to them and thinking they're like totally entitled to be like that. And then the other end of the spectrum of like, oh, I just love them and they're just so wonderful and it doesn't really matter, you know, what they did to me. I can, you know, I need to tolerate that because, you know, it's my doing too. And so it's like these extremes. But the reality is we need to be in the middle, you know, like in the balance. And in the balance means, you know what, right now I can't deal with your emotions and your stuff. I need to work on me. And so whatever I need to go through, I'm going to go through it. And this is one of the biggest things on the journey of twin flames, is to learn to navigate our emotions, especially within relationship, because a lot of times within relationship, we've been taught really the incorrect way to be. If you look at society and the history in our society of like how you handle relationships, like I remember, this has been it's so funny, it's been a while since I've seen this, but I remember seeing like memes going around about an older man and older woman, and the question was like, what made your marriage last for so long? You've been married for 50 years. And the man says, I do whatever she says. Everything she says is right. Everything's yes. That's like so not okay. And you know, the other memes that I saw going around are like how to be a housewife. It was like a 50s thing. It was actually a real ad and a real book. And it was about how, like, you know, you make sure you're at the door greeting him in all dressed up, decked out to go out in the town. But really, you're just there to greet him and show him love and make sure he has dinner on the table, all these crazy, stupid things. And that's not balance either, right? They're like, it's unhealthy. So those are unhealthy attitudes that we've had about relationships. So twin flames, we're here not only to have this romantic love that everybody really focuses on, but we're here actually to change those paradigms, change those accepted norms, and bring in true unconditional love. So coming back to my little thing about unconditional love does not mean you never feel your feelings. It does not mean you suppress what you're feeling because you love this person so much. What it means is you actually feel everything you need to feel, and you still love them. You see their faults, you see their mistakes, you realize you're angry with them, but you still love them. You know, there's that other saying that people have said throughout the years, and it is never go to bed angry. And, you know, my thing is, that's a really great saying. However, it's only wonderful if you actually do it the way that's going to benefit both parties. Meaning, if you had a fight and you're arguing, talk it out. And share what you need to say so you don't hold on to it. And even if the other person gets frustrated, just, you know, one of the things I used to say to my twin when I first met him, and we'd have like a disagreement about something, or I felt hurt by something. And I remember I used to send him emails, or I would talk to him and say, listen, I'm always going to share with you what I feel, and you're always going to hear it. And you're always going to know how it hurt me or what happened, even though it's my perception. You're always going to hear it, because I never want to hold it in and not share it with you, because if I do, two things will happen. One, I'll resent you and end up hating you, and I don't want to hate you. I love you. And the second one was, I don't want to get sick, because I know when people stuff things down and they hide from themselves what it is that's really hurting them, they get sick, because that builds up in their body and builds up in their cellular memory and causes problems. So one of the things that that I recognize is when you want to not go to bed angry, it's literally sharing both your feelings and allowing yourselves to be who you truly are with each other in any given moment. Meaning you don't tolerate shit, and you don't tolerate poor behavior without feeling the experience of it. You don't just accept it as it is. You know, you just you realize this is what happened, but you have to let yourself feel that, let that integrate through you and go through your being so it goes out. Because once you let it get out of you, that's when you can move back into that unconditional love. But if you're harboring that anger and frustration, or you're pretending it's all fine, you know, oh, it's fine that he didn't call me, unless that's sincere, unless that's a sincere message that you're giving about your twin or any relationship or anyone really, unless that's sincere, then please, you know, I don't know, I'm so frustrated when I think about it, because we all do that, and I've done that, you know, I've been guilty of that. So for example, this weekend my twin was supposed to come by, and he didn't. He did write me an email telling me sorry he wouldn't be able to make it. However, I didn't care. And I don't mean that because I didn't care that I didn't see him. I love him and I would love to see him. But the truth was, I was having such a tough week last week that I didn't have the energy to give to anybody, myself, him, or even us, because I needed to navigate what I was going through emotionally with my stuff surfacing. And so that was a legitimate, it's okay that he didn't come. I'm totally fine with that. I don't have disappointment. I don't have anger towards him about that. Now, that being said, I'm able to navigate that. That's a truth, and I could feel inside of me. That feels clear to me. But I can tell you other times, a great example is about, I don't know, 3 years ago maybe? I don't even know, to be honest with you, I can't remember. But about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, he promised he was coming. Told me he was coming. Totally blew me off for the whole weekend. Never spoke to me. It was actually Thanksgiving. And he's like, I'm coming that weekend. I'll be there that Friday. I'll come and see you. And I struggled so much. I had so much emotion and pain. But I didn't tell people it was okay he didn't come. I was angry. I said I was really angry. But what I did is I channeled all that energy into this amazing painting that I did. It's a small painting, but it's probably, out of all the paintings I've ever done, and I do a lot of painting, but out of all the ones I've ever done, they're for me personally usually, but out of every one of them, this is my favorite one. And I could, you know why? Because I could actually feel not only the emotion that went into it, but the healing I received from using all this energy and channeling it energy into something creative rather than destructive, like hurting myself or hurting him or being, violent in any way, meaning verbally violent. I would never harm anything. But I actually channeled that energy into something creative. And I think about that now. Wow, that's really powerful. Maybe I should do that with my personal stuff going on. And I haven't thought about doing that because that requires movement of stuff in my home. But it's really something that I can honestly say, learning to navigate my emotions over the last several years have benefited me. So for you, if you're going through the same thing, don't pretend you're not feeling it, and don't pretend it's okay. You need to feel what's going on. And I remember many years ago now, gosh, I can't even tell you, because my teachers were the archangels. And Archangel Michael taught me when I was working with a client, because my client, he didn't want to deal with the emotion that was coming up for him. And I said, Archangel Michael is telling me you can't go over it, you can't go under it, you can't go around it. You have to go right through it. And that was about his emotions and feeling. And I have taken that lesson to heart, and I've worked through it over the years. And there's times that I totally got trapped in it, and I got caught up in the spiral of hell is what I used to call it. As if you've been watching me for a while, you know the words. I used to do that, and I don't anymore. I actually noticed that I actually move through the emotions better because I'm allowing them to come as they come. So a lot of us don't do that. What we tend to do is we allow the emotions to build up. We suppress, and we allow them to build up. So they're like I describe this to my clients. So some of you who are my clients know exactly what I'm saying. It's like Pigpen, the little dirty cloud over Pigpen. So it's this cloud of emotion that's waiting to be felt because we haven't allowed ourselves to feel. And I think that's why we're all afraid to feel, because we know this cloud is just going to come rushing through us. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you start to feel things as they come, then it does not get more difficult. I promise you, it actually gets easier. You learn to navigate. Yes, I'm entitled to feel pain right now. So I had a conversation with my twin a few days ago, no, a couple days ago, and I was disappointed in how the outcome was, and I held back. I didn't respond. I didn't like write him an email, and I haven't called him back yet. Partly because I needed to cool off and really feel what I was feeling, because what I'm recognizing, it's not necessarily what he did or didn't do. I mean, yes, I would expect him to react a different way. However, it's not about him, it's about me, right? So I'm working through that emotion before I speak with him. And don't think I'm not going to, because I will. But I also realize that I need to feel that stuff, and I need to go through that and recognize where it's really coming from, what is wounded, and how can I best navigate that? Because the truth is, I do love this man. I don't want to hate him. Just like I said to him many years ago, I don't want to hate you. I want to love you. And so that means I need to go through whatever feelings I'm feeling. You're always going to hear how I feel. And I remember one time we were in person, he rolled his eyes. And he goes, I know. You're going to tell me how you feel. And I was like, stop making fun of me, because this is really minimal right now. But in the future, the longer we're together, the more we're going to have serious stuff. And we need to be honest with each other about our feelings. And anyway, that's been coming back into my reality. And I'm bringing all that up because all the feelings of everything is surfacing. So coming back full circle to what I started this conversation off with, the last week, energies have been kicking up, tremendously kicking up, for people to deal with past stuff. And so you may be, it's like heightened, just so you know. It's like heightened, meaning the energies are heightening what's going on, but it's heightened by you and your twin going through the same thing. You might not have the same exact identical issue, but you have the same energies you're working through. And so what is going on is most people are either facing things that they already went through, but they're like the last remnants are surfacing and coming out. And so I recommend being the observer in that. And then the other people that may not be the observer, they didn't really do the work. They didn't do the emotional work. And that's the digging deep into the emotion, getting to the core and clearing it out. What's coming up for them is their blocks. What's showing up for them is where they're blocked in their life and where their blocks are affecting their union, their relationship. But it's more than that. It's not only the blocks, it's literally the emotions that are behind all of it. So I encourage you to look at that and start working through it. And if you need to reach out to me, please do. I am open for sessions. I'm doing I'm available for individual appointments, and I think I have a special. Yeah, I still have a special going to the end of this month for Twinflame sessions. So if you're interested in knowing what my specials are, please reach out to me through email, april@soulstarhealing.com. And let's see if there's anything else I wanted to share. There's just a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff, energies going on. I think that's enough for now, because I need to run out the door to the doctors. But I wanted to give you this quick heads up. This is what's going on. So prepare yourself for Thanksgiving, because if you're going to be around family and friends, especially if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, recognize that everybody's heightened. So it's not just you and your twin, it's all of humanity. Everybody's heightened, so it's actually making it a little bit harder. And it's really pushing us twins particularly to move into the new energy properly, meaning get rid of all the shit so we're able to go forward. Because unfortunately, we've been carrying all this crap, and it won't make it in the fifth dimensional energy that we're moving into, the higher vibrational energy we're moving into, and I shouldn't even say fifth dimensional, the multi-dimensional energy that is available to us. You can't carry that baggage with you. And I've talked about this before, I know. So I hope this helps you. I give you lots of love and light, and lots of stuff going on. And I really do hope to come back and speak with you soon, do maybe a card reading. But I encourage you, if you are struggling and you have some difficulties, couple things are coming up. I have an online webinar for Twin Flames in December, early December, and that's a group webinar. So you come on all together. We do some energy updates and some meaning messages from my guides about the journey, but then also do a group meditation, which is extremely powerful for healing. Those are all, the past ones are available. I've done some really cool meditations that have been awesome for everybody to do. They've experienced it. I've gotten great feedback. That's what I'm just trying to say. And gosh, I'm rambling. And then the other thing is, if you need real clearing and healing, I highly recommend that you book a healing and clearing session. A card reading is definitely not going to cut it for you because you're not going to get what you need from that. A card reading, I literally read what's in the cards, or I read what's coming through. And yes, I'm intuitive, so bits and pieces will come that are a little more than just a reading of cards. But I encourage you to do the healing clearing because I see much more, and that my focus is on that. And it's more about really clearing the impediments to your union. So anyway, many blessings of love and light to you. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrate. This is my favorite holiday. And the reason it's my favorite holiday is because I think about gratitude the most during this time of year. So I'm grateful to all of you, my beautiful clients and friends and my viewers. I thank you for your support and love throughout the year. And I wish you all well on this way. Namaste, blessed union to you.